Hello, everyone, and welcome to Disney Magic Podcast, a fun new Disney podcast hosted by a British guy. I'm your host, Zach Campbell, and you can join me every other week for magical stories, amazing guests, intriguing history, and overall a trip down Main Street, USA. From Disney parks to a galaxy far, far away, we'll be talking all things Disney and just how magical it is. Get ready for this episode because it's starting in 3, 2, 1.
What's going on? Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. Episode 7. Oh, we're getting there. We're getting close to that first 10. I'm super excited. Super excited. I've got a very fun episode for you. In case you haven't read the title, Disney IPs. That's what we're talking about today. I've got a very special guest. But today I just want to commend my shirt. If you are interested in getting one of these bad boys, head to my link down below, theshitshirtclub.com. You can get your own 20% discount with my code disneymagiczack20 for 20% off your total order. Now, we have Caitlin, a very good friend of mine, on the podcast today. So let's just get into it. Let me make sure everything's unmuted here. That's unmuted. There we go. And 1 second. Screen capture. That needs to be on. Okay. There we go. Alrighty, Caitlin. Hello. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you. Welcome to the podcast. Hope you're. Thanks so much for accepting to be on here. We've been wanting to do this for a little while, haven't we? So I'm so glad that we've finally got the chance to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
With our busy schedules and everything like that, it's just been crazy to get the time zones right, and oh my gosh, it's crazy.
Yep.
But yeah, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing good. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Formalities, man. We haven't spoken for ages. Me and Caitlin have known each other for, like, God, how long is it now? Years? Like, absolutely, like, a good few years now.
Nearly 4 years, because
Yeah.
it was joined a Discord server around the same time. It
We
was like end
did.
of 2019, I think.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. The Super Carlin Brothers server. I have
Yeah.
I have not watched an SCB video in forever. Like, oh my gosh. I kind of like
Honestly, same.
Yeah, like honestly, like it's crazy because I went through a stint of like watching them, Seamus Gorman, like all of those. And I was like, I have even thought to even look at what they're doing nowadays.
Yeah, I still get notifications from those videos, but I just don't have time in my schedule to it's been a hot minute.
Yeah, same. Oh my gosh. But yeah. So, like I say, we've known each other for a little while now. So we're both Disney fans. Caitlin is like probably a bigger Disney fan, Potter fan than I could ever like claim to be. And you have a channel as well. Are you still working on the channel, or is it on one of those hiatuses again?
I've kind of been on a hiatus since March, I think is the last time. Or
Yeah,
no, June. I think
June.
June was my last video. So it's only been a couple of months,
That's
but
that's
life
not.
just happens. I have a hard time being consistent.
Yeah, like that's it. Like I know you try because obviously you try so hard, and it's like it's one of them. Like I'm the same, to be fair. Like I try so hard to be consistent. I was like, if I don't set time to do it in like the weekends, and I'm like, I ain't doing it. I'm not doing it at all. Like I'm too busy with work, and it's like, oh, I'm too tired. And it's just
Yeah,
can't be
for
bothered.
sure.
So I've got to specifically say, right, I need to do this today, and I'm like, yes, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so again, thank you so much for joining me. This episode, I thought we'd talk about Disney IPs, like Disney international property. Like over the past few years, Disney have made some bold like acquisitions from like they now own Fox, they own God, what else do they own? Hulu, they own I don't know, they own the
A lot of stuff.
Lucasfilms, or literally everything in like the media bar, like Warner Brothers and Universal, Disney pretty much
Yeah.
own. And it's just a matter of time of like, are they actually gonna just outright buy the whole like global like media and just be like, yeah, we own everything now.
Who knows?
Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, exactly. Who
I'm sure
knows?
they want to.
Oh, 100%. If Bob Iger's got anything to do about it, I'm sure by like 2030 they'll like literally anything you watch will be like through Disney.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. But the big question from me is it too much? Is it too much IP? Is it too much of like a global dominance in the media? For me personally, I'm gonna say yeah. Like I have a lot of thoughts on this, and I think the biggest thing for me is it's too much. Like you know how you scroll through like Netflix or you scroll through like Disney Plus or however what other streaming service you use, and you just can't think what to watch. That's kind of like my thing with Disney with like what they own in terms of like the media coverage. It's like it's too much, and then at what point does it become too much for Disney to like handle and all of that kind of stuff? Because like I'm not the biggest Marvel fan, and Caitlin can probably have more of a say on this, but the last few like Marvel movies have been pretty shocking for like CGI. Am I right in thinking that?
I feel like there's been really mixed reception of everything since Endgame. And I think a lot of the problem is that everyone's expectations for Marvel are so high.
Yeah.
Personally, I haven't been utterly disappointed with uh any of the recent stuff, but
Okay.
you can tell that like they aren't reaching the top quality that they had
Yeah.
when they
Yeah.
were doing Infinity War and Endgame and the movies right around that.
So it's Endgame the one with Thanos, like
Yeah,
the
so
one where
Infinity War.
the one where he snaps his fingers and kills everyone
Yeah,
pretty
so
much. Yeah. Okay.
Infinity War is the one where he kills everyone, and then
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Endgame is the one where they all come back.
Right.
Spoilers
That.
for,
Well,
4 years ago, but
4 years spoilers. Has it been 4 years already since that movie came
it,
out?
it really
Oh my
has.
god,
Yeah,
that's madness.
Endgame came out in May of 2019.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
So yeah,
That's crazy.
there was there was also just such a drought of everything in 2020 and even a bit
Yeah.
into 2021, and so
Due
then it
to
was all just like
certain limitations.
overwhelming.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was overwhelming when they're trying to catch up.
Yeah. And because of that, obviously, I mean, COVID is probably to blame in the aspect of that, but like, do you feel like they're bringing out too much content at once? Because like they've got like all these TV shows, like this, the Secret Invasion, and is it called with Nick Fury, like Samuel L. Jackson?
Yeah,
Apparently that
yeah,
didn't do
yeah,
so well. But then
yeah.
my
I haven't finished that one yet.
so apparently that didn't do so well. But my thing is I don't know how this is gonna. Okay, so I don't know how this all works. But my thing is they're bringing out too much all in one go because they're trying to appeal to so many audiences at one time. Um,
Yeah, I
like I
I
feel
I
like
agree.
I feel like the last thing that they did really well. Again, I haven't watched it. I've heard good reviews. Is WandaVision. Apparently that was really good. Um,
Yeah, WandaVision and Loki.
Loki.
Um,
That's supposed to be really good as well.
I know.
Um,
I could go through the list, and I'd probably say that, like, somewhere around a fourth or a third of the movies and shows in the past 4 years have gotten overwhelmingly positive
yeah.
reception, and the rest of them have gotten really mixed reviews.
Yeah. Like, I mean, for the most part, if you're a diehard like Marvel fan, then you more or less you're going to watch them at some point. But for like the casual viewer, say like me, call me a casual consumer of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I'll watch the odd movie every few. I think the last movie I watched was what Marvel movie? Oh God, I don't even know, man. I don't even know if it counts. I think it was Deadpool 2. I think that was the last
Oh,
Marvel movie I watched.
that doesn't quite count because they didn't own that yet. Disney
No,
didn't.
Disney didn't own it, so. But now that they own it, and now that he's in the MCU now, baby, Deadpool 3 with Wolverine. He's going to
Oh
be in the
yeah, I
MCU
know.
apparently. So,
I haven't seen the Deadpool movies yet, to be honest, because they weren't
uh,
part of the MCU.
see now you
So
have. So now it's even more catching up for you.
I
Uh,
know. Yeah, but I'd even say that even for like diehard fans, not just casual viewers, it's gotten to a point where there is just so much
yeah,
that it's
yeah.
hard to keep up with.
Of course, it
Um,
is a lot. It is a lot. It's crazy how much they've how much content they've pumped out in like the past, even like the past 2 or 3 years alone, with like the end of like
yeah,
Infinity War, Endgame, and everything like that. I feel like they're all trying to set up all these new stories for like the next phase of the MCU, and it's just
oh
too
yeah,
much all in one go. But it is quite a lot, and I don't know, man. Like I say, it's mixed reviews, and I feel like it is difficult to bring that across to like a decent kind of like aspect of like what everyone's expecting, because Endgame and Infinity War were like probably like the peak of what they were trying to do, like story wise, CGI wise, and all that kind of stuff. From what I can tell, but yeah, like
yeah. Well,
it is
and that
crazy.
yeah, and the other thing that just also makes it overwhelming, even for the like more than casual viewers, is because ever since, Disney Plus came out, now they're trying to push more TV shows, which are a bigger time commitment,
Yeah,
which makes it
yeah,
harder for people who are like really love the content, love Marvel, and even Star Wars too has the same issue, I think.
yeah,
Um, who love it but just like say are adults and don't have time in their busy schedules to commit to an 8 hours worth of a TV show when normally all of the content before was just
was like
a
movie.
movie
Yeah, of course, yeah.
2.5 hours,
Yeah, well,
sometimes three.
sometimes
There's
pushing
some long
3,
ones.
yeah, yeah. Which it's just crazy because, like, obviously, that's one of my things. Like, I'll come in from work. There's so many, like, there's so many shows that I want to watch. The last show I watched on Disney Plus when it came out, I kind of like binged it all in like one night, like a couple of nights. How I Met Your Father, the second part of the second series of that on Disney Plus.
Oh, nice.
Highly
Yep,
recommend.
I watched that too.
Highly recommend. So good. Like,
I kind
oh,
of forgot that that's under the Disney umbrella because it's on Hulu here, and I always forget that Hulu is
yeah,
also owned by Disney.
So over here we don't have Hulu. It's called Star. Like we have something called Star on
Yeah.
our Disney Plus, which I assume is the same kind of thing as Hulu because we've got like Grey's Anatomy. We've got like all of like the more adult-esque programs. Um,
Yeah, that's what I've heard at least. It
yeah,
is all the stuff that would
yeah.
be on Hulu here.
But How I Met Your Father, man, absolute banger program. So so good. Um, but that was the last thing I watched. But then, like you say, there's like so much more coming out. Like, I really enjoy Only Murders in the Building. If you've seen that,
Oh yeah, same.
so
I haven't
good.
seen the first couple episodes of season 3 yet though,
Oh
but
yeah, I haven't watched it yet, but hands down, such a good program. But again, because there's so much content like being out all the time, like I'll come home from work and be like, I'm just gonna watch a couple of YouTube videos and then call it a night. Literally, watch a YouTube video whilst I'm like having my dinner, and then I'm in bed. Like I don't have time to sit down and watch like an hour's worth of a program every night, or like it's one of them where you've got to like again, you've got to like commit to the time to do it, and you've got so many other
yeah.
things going on. It's like it's kind of crazy, like how much time it takes to like try and catch up, especially like Marvel or Star Wars or anything like that. And I've got a list here of everything that Disney currently owns.
Oh wow, yeah.
It's
I'd
it
love to hear that list. It's a
it
lot.
it's a lot. So reeling off, they've got Pixar, Lucasfilm, Marvel, ABC, 20th Century Studios, Walt Disney Studios, ESPN, Disney Plus, Disney General Entertainment, the Walt Disney Animation Studios, Disney Parks Experience and Products, Touchstone Pictures, Marvel Studios, 21st Century Fox, the Imagineering, something called Freeform. I don't know what that is. Disney
Oh,
Channel.
Freeform's ABC Family. They changed the name. It has like kind of
Um.
teen shows.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Freeform.
Sorry to
No, it's all good.
interrupt.
It's all good. I'd much rather learn. Freeform, Disney Channel, National Geographic, Hollywood Records, which I assume is a music label from the look of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Walt Disney Pictures, Disney Studio Motion Pictures, Searchlight Pictures, Disney Television Animation, and Disney Junior. That's a crap load of That's a crap load of like
So
stuff
much.
that they own, and they're still finalizing like a few other things that I believe like they're finalizing like the complete like takeover of like Hulu.
Hmm.
I know there's been a long stint of them trying to get hold of Sony so they can have the rights to like Spider-Man and things like that.
I
Um,
don't think that's ever gonna happen, but
I don't think
Sony.
that's ever going to happen. But there's a lot more as well. They have like, is it? Oh no, because that'll come under Fox. I'm thinking of like, is it called Blue Light Animation? The ones that did like
Oh,
the
I'm not
Angry
sure.
Birds movie and things like that.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, something like that. So that comes under that umbrella. But that's a whole lot of like a whole lot. Now, my question is for that, Caitlin. I want if you're happy to give some answers to this. Do you think that's too much media? Do you think that's too much for Disney to overtake? Do you think they're going to get overwhelmed? Do you think they're going to think, "Ah, crap, we're going to be sinking the boat here"? Like,
Yeah, I think that's a good question, and there's kind of two ways to approach that question.
yeah,
And in one way, I feel like when they make their acquisitions, a lot of times you can't really see much of a difference. Like with Hulu, it's like, oh, it's just owned by Disney now.
yeah,
Um, and like there's some that I really appreciate because like for instance when they were able to get 21st Century Fox, oh now they can bring in more Marvel characters and stuff because
yeah,
the
yeah,
Marvel was a whole issue and stuff like that. So I guess you can see a difference there in some things, but then like some of it it's just like oh now this movie is available on Disney Plus now. It's not like they're making new stuff for some. But
yeah,
then for others it's like they do have just so much that it's hard for people to keep up if they're trying to keep up on all of the different stuff, but then also it's like you don't have to keep up on it. It's just media. But there is something to be said about like with the increase of media that they've been trying to put out, like is there a decline in quality? I Some people would say so.
yeah,
Compare it to stuff from 20 years ago, maybe it's not actually that much of a decline in quality,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah,
it does feel like so much is monopolized by Disney that I I I would hesitate to say that more stuff should be because there should be competition to be able to keep the quality up because if they're able to acquire so much more stuff
yeah.
then who's gonna keep up the quality?
That's
it,
it.
it would
That's
probably
it.
decline.
Yeah, of course, yeah, and that's my underlying issue with like say go back 20, 30 years to like some of the movies that do hold up. Like I'm not the biggest like Star Wars fan or anything like that, but or like Indiana. I'm a big Indiana Jones fan. I
Mm,
watched like I think the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was like the first indie movie that was done under like the Disney umbrella, and that was shocking. It was really bad. But I
yeah.
watched it because I like Indiana Jones. I'm a big Indiana Jones fan. Circle back to the new one, The Dial of Destiny. Absolute amazing. Does really well, but it still doesn't hit hard as like the ones from when George Lucas and Steven Spielberg were making them, Raiders of the Lost Ark, the Last Crusade, Temple of Doom. Those three, absolute amazing movies, because like I feel like they weren't. So I'm gonna sound really hypocritical. Like I love Disney, but at the same time I hate what they do with the company. They kind
Oh
of
yeah.
like Disneyfy everything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they try and make it like family centered, but at the same time they kind of like. So if you went back to like the Raiders of the Lost Ark and compared it to the Dial of Destiny, of course Raiders of the Lost Ark is gonna be like the better one. But then you go, so like it's because it was done under a different company. It was done under a different director. They had more free range. I feel like the things with Disney when they acquire like companies and things like that, they bring it all under like the Disney umbrella where it's like, we now own you. You now have to make it all family friendly, family like orientated. You have to make it appealing to all ages. And I feel like I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan either, but I will watch like the first three original movies, like the A New Hope, Turn of the Jedi, and Emperor Strikes Back. I'll watch those three because they're really really good. But then you compare it to like episode 7. I watched episode 7, I think like a couple of months, and I was like, that's enough Star Wars for me. I don't want to watch anymore now because I knew Disney owned it and I knew Disney would just pump out and pump out and pump out. And slowly it started to decrease and became a little bit worse for wear and repetition. And it was like, yeah, obviously you want to finish a story that's been told, you know, from the minds of like George Lucas and things like that. But at the same time, just leave it be. Just let it be. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, I feel like there's, and not just Disney, but like most media companies right now, it feels like they have this culture of almost like squeezing a dry sponge. It's like there's
oh yeah, all
it's done,
it's
but they're
done.
just trying to get the more money out, as much money out of it as possible.
Yeah.
And some of it ends up being good. Like I'd say, honestly, out of all Star Wars content ever,
Mm,
including the original trilogy,
yeah.
that The Mandalorian is the best Star Wars
Oh,
content
I've
out
heard
there.
amazing things about The Mandalorian. It's meant to be really good.
Oh yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
But like it's almost like they're just throwing everything against the wall and seeing what sticks.
Oh yeah, it's
And so there's
literally.
some stuff that does, and that's really good, but then it averages out, and there's a lot of stuff that's not, you know.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. It's literally like they've got a dartboard in a conference room, like a giant The Price is Right wheel, and you just like spin that wheel, and it's just like poof. Right, let's make a series about a pillow that can talk. Great. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
bizarre, and they're like, right, what can we do with it? Let's tie it into the I don't know, let's tie it into the universe of Marvel. Let's have Pillow Man in the universe. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I don't know,
Yeah.
man. It's crazy, man. It's like I think that Disney, like from my perspective, they are controlling too much media and they don't know what to do with it. Like you say, the squeezing a dry sponge. And so my next question kind of leads into this. Like obviously with the parks, kind of like I don't know if you've been to a Disney park recently, or and
Oh, not in a while. I
yeah,
think the last one I went to was Disney World
yeah,
in 2015. So it's
yeah.
been a good like 8 years.
Oh yeah, yeah.
8 years.
It's been a good few years for me as well. But I don't know if you've been keeping up with the news. They've got like all these new rides that have come out. The Guardians of the Galaxy ride in Epcot, the Cosmic Rewind.
Yeah,
Um,
they changed Tower of Terror,
oh no, yeah,
right?
that's in Disneyland.
That's
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Hollywood. That's
That
in the Hollywood studios, isn't it?
no, that's at the Disneyland
Or the
one. Yeah,
California.
the
Okay,
California one.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that took over the Tower of Terror in like their Marvel campus area, I think. Yeah. But they
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
roller coaster at Epcot called Cosmic Rewind based on like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay, I
Um,
didn't know about that
it
one.
it looks pretty dang cool. Not gonna lie, it looks pretty. I'm probably gonna ride it when I go next year. Um, but my thing is like, so it's been a hot minute since we've both been to the parks, but I've been keeping up with it. There's a lot of IP coming into the parks as well in terms of like they're doing a lot of work to like Epcot at the moment with like they've brought Moana into the theme parks, Ratatouille, Guardians of the Galaxy. A lot of IPs coming into the parks. Like it's affecting the parks a little bit because there's no original ideas coming out of it. And I feel like there isn't enough original ideas to come about. And with that, again, like, can you remember even the last time Disney made an original like movie that wasn't a remake?
Good question. Live action or animated?
I mean, let's go for animated. No, let's go for live action because animated was Elemental, which was a
Yeah,
pretty. I went to go see it.
I
Pretty
haven't seen that one yet.
pretty all right. It's pretty good. It's got a Zootopia kind of feel to it. So if you like
Mm.
Zootopia, you'll probably like it. But yeah, live action of the original Disney movie that you can think of.
I honestly can't think of anything off the top of my head. I'm trying to remember what I've even gone to see in
Yeah,
the past few years that
yeah,
wasn't like Marvel or
yeah,
uh Star Wars.
yeah. And again, that I think that's the issue because like you know, obviously their international property, their IPs that they've acquired, but like the so here today, like as of recording this, it's August 11th. The Haunted Mansion movie
Hmm.
came out today in the UK. It's been out a couple of
Oh
weeks
yeah.
over in the States. Um, so, but again, that's a remake because the first one was I think 2003. I
Something
think
like that. I
two.
remembered watching it
I remember watching it,
on
and
a Disney Channel.
oh yeah, and this is a hot take because I actually really like the Haunted Mansion. Like, not everyone likes
Nice.
it. Not everyone likes it.
Yeah,
It's a
I
very
don't remember it very well. I don't think I've seen it since I was really young.
let me see. Yeah,
Because I was
2003.
thinking, what was that?
2003 it came out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Sorry,
20
go on.
years.
20 years. My God, I feel old. Oh my days. No way. Go on, sorry, as you were saying.
Well, I was just thinking, like, immediately, like, thinking the most recent original Disney movie that I've seen is animated, and that's Strange World, which was about a year ago.
Oh, Strange World
Um,
is a good movie. That's a good
I
movie.
really enjoyed that
I like
one.
that
It
one.
was, in my opinion, it was very enjoyable, but it wasn't like I was going back to watch it for a second time, you know? So
Yeah, I
it,
haven't
it
watched
wasn't
it
like
since it came out.
oh my gosh, this is so great movie, but it was good, and I really liked the visual aspect. The animation was
Yeah,
just
the
really
animation
good.
was beautiful, but like you say, I wouldn't go back and watch it. Like it was enjoyable, but the rewatchability isn't there because like I know the story, and that's my
Mm-hmm.
issue. Like, give me okay, so let's ask a question here off the show notes, like off record, not off record, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Favorite Disney movie, like animated, favorite Disney animated movie that you could go back and rewatch as many times as possible. Or I'll make it a bit.
Okay, that's a really good
I'll
question.
make it easier for you. Disney or Pixar.
Disney or Pixar? Pixar would probably be either Monsters Inc. or Coco.
amazing. Good choices. Good choices. Let's put this into context here. Monsters Inc. came out in 2001. That's a 22-year-old movie.
I know.
And
I remember that was the show my younger sister watched on repeat when she was like
yes.
1 year old.
And Coco came out like
Oh, this one's
2013.
gonna make me feel old though. Yeah,
2013 was it, or something like that? No, it
I
wasn't. It's
think
not
it was
that old.
2016 or 2015.
Yeah, it's. I'm gonna say
Oh
it's.
no, 2017.
Oh, that's not
It's
too
six
bad
years
then.
old.
It's that's not too bad. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so yeah, 6 years old for Coco, 21 years for Monsters Inc. And that just shows that like their older ones are so
Mm-hmm.
much more watchable. So my go-to ones is Lilo and Stitch for animated for Disney, and
Oh yeah.
Cars. Probably Cars 1. I watch Cars 3, but Cars 1 I've watched plenty of times. I love Cars. But there is one that my brother used to watch all the time, and it was Wreck-It Ralph. He absolutely loved Wreck-It Ralph when he was younger. Brandon was like, oh, how old was he? He must have been about 5. We legit watched that movie about 4 times a week.
Oh my goodness.
Like, to a point where we could, like, recite it word for word, script for script. And it was like, it's too much now, Brandon. He's like, no, I need to watch Wreck-It Ralph again. I'm like, okay. No joke. Honestly, he absolutely loved that movie. But it just shows, like, the replayability was there. And I feel like... So, my question for you is, okay, your favourite movies, Monsters, Inc. and Coco from, like, past. Have you recently rewatched something that is newer that you have enjoyed watching, thinking, oh yeah, I really like that. I'm gonna rewatch that just because.
Good question. I feel like I do that a lot with the Marvel stuff.
Yeah,
But I'm specifically thinking just right now about more of the non-Marvel and Star Wars
yeah, yeah,
Disney stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, I feel like it's been pretty much all of the movies that have come out in the past like 3 to 4 years. I've only watched once and then called it good.
Yeah,
Like, I
yeah.
can't think about rewatching any of them since Onward is probably the last one I watched multiple times.
Oh yeah, Onward's a good one. That was a good movie. That was a good movie. I liked Onward. It was
Yeah.
that was a chilling like ending. It made me cry a little. It was on the
Oh
verge of
yeah.
like Toy Story 3 making me cry, but
Yeah.
nothing makes me cry as Toy Story 3. Oh,
uh,
but don't get me
yeah, that
started
was
on
a really good one.
Toy Story 4. And they've just recently announced Toy Story 5. Like, do we really need Toy Story 5? Like,
I don't think so. Toy
absolutely not.
Story 4 was
A,
all right.
it was a
It
stretch. Like, I
Yeah.
got the appeal of it. Like, I was, okay, fair enough. We're going to go and find Bo Peep. We've not seen Bo since, like, Toy Story 2. Fair enough. But, like, it could have, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like the trilogy was, like, so well done. It was, like, us growing up with Andy. And then Toy Story 4 was just, like, Woody was like, nah, I'm just going to throw it all away for a girl. I was like, okay. No worries.
Yeah.
The only thing that made that made the movie, like, watchable was Forky. Literally the only reason why I watched it, like, all the way through without walking out of the cinema, because, like, before I even, like, sat down and watched the movie, I was like, I know what's going to happen at the end. Like, Woody's going
I
to...
definitely watched it on an airplane.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I waited quite a while before actually getting around to see it.
Yeah. See, we took Brandon for his birthday, and he was like, I want to watch Toy Story. He was like, all right, Jess, sure, we'll go watch Toy Story 4. And I was just sat there, and, like, I was like, ah, this is so fun. I was like, I could have just lived without watching this. But yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like you say, it's that sponge. Like they keep squeezing out new things. It's just like, when will the next new original idea come? Like when will they like sit down as like a company and be like, right, this is what we want. This is what our audience wants. How can we make this happen? Because so going into like going into it, there's a whole like organization within the parks and the rides and things like that called the Society of Explorers and Adventures, or C for short, which is like a made up company, like a made up like organization of like all of like the some of the rides from all over the world and things like that. And they've kind of started doing that with the Jungle Cruise. I think they've started to like set that plane off a little bit. Um, I want to see more of that. Like they've got so many good ideas. Like the Tower of Terror would link into that. The Jungle Cruise links into it. The all of like the Asian parks would link into it, like Phantom Manor, all of that kind of stuff in like Disneyland Paris and things like that. They've got an idea right there.
Yeah.
They've got an idea there. Like use that.
There's
Like
and there are quite a few like movies and things that they based off of stuff in the past.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
Pirates of the Caribbean. They
yeah.
did make a Tower of Terror movie at some point. It was all right. Uh,
Oh yeah, with yeah,
yeah,
I remember that. The one with
like,
what's he called? Paul Guttenberg, the guy from like the Police Academy movies.
oh, I'm not sure.
I think
It's been a while since I've
yeah.
been, but yeah,
But
I
yeah,
remember watching that at one point.
but Pirates of the
Tomorrowland was
Caribbean.
technically a
Oh yeah, I forgot about that
ride before
movie.
it was moved.
I forgot about that movie.
But so many of them end up being a little bit forgettable. But some of
Yeah,
them, Pirates of the Caribbean mainly, is the biggest
amazing.
one. And then
Yeah,
that happens, and they make like 5 of them. But
yeah, and then they're like, yeah, where can we go with this? And it's just like, great,
and the
great.
first one's the best one
The
for
first one
sure.
is the best. Oh, actually, I query that. Dead Man's
Oh
Chest.
really?
Dead Man's Chest.
Okay. You know, I should rewatch that one. I feel like I haven't seen that one like since it
Yeah,
came out, and I
yeah.
was like
Because
a
hands.
teenager.
Oh,
So
same. Because the hands down, Davy Jones, one of like the best villains you could get. Like
oh yeah,
100%, so good. But yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean, man, that was a good couple of movies to begin with, and then they just killed it by doing like another four after. I'm like, great.
yeah.
I don't think I've seen. I don't. Which one did I finish? Which one did I watch? I think I watched the first three, and then I've not watched any more since then. So maybe I should do that. Maybe I should watch all five and just like, yo, this is what I think.
Yeah,
Um,
that would be a good idea. Definitely need to rewatch them. It's been a while.
yeah, yeah. But again, that's based off of rides, and I think obviously
Yeah.
Pirates came first. Haunted Mansion, they got a movie about that.
I
Um,
think there might be some in development. I'm trying to remember that like maybe there's one about Big Thunder Mountain Railroad or
uh,
something.
I think you're right. I think they're all in development, but like they've been like a few years though. Like I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think like when they all came out. Let me have a look here. Let's see if we can find. Oh no.
Yeah, maybe I feel like it was about a year ago. I remember seeing something about the Big Thunder Mountain Railroad one, but I didn't really look into it very much.
Yeah. Oh no, it's just bringing me to. Maybe I'll have to do a little bit of a better search, but it's bringing me up movies based in the sea, and that's not what I want.
No.
Like The Little Mermaid and 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I don't want that.
Yeah, that's not what you want.
But no,
But yeah, a lot of those are really good ideas that they could kind of.
cash in
I
on.
mean, technically, are they original ideas? Kind of based on a ride. I don't know what counts as original anymore, but but they are
Just-
definitely some good ideas for things that they could do rather than just doing so many reboots and live action remakes and all
Yeah,
that stuff.
yeah. Like I feel like the live action started with, oh God, I'm trying to think
The
what the
first one was Cinderella.
yeah. See, I was going to say Cinderella or
20,
Beauty and the Beast. I know it was one of
2015.
those two.
Yeah, it
Uh,
was the Cinderella one, which was
yeah,
actually really good.
yeah.
To
It was pretty alright. It was pretty good to be fair. I enjoyed it. Beauty and the Beast. I liked
and
Beauty and the Beast. I liked it. It was pretty good. And it like put in some of those plot holes that came from the animated one, which was pretty alright.
yeah. Well,
And then
and with like something like Cinderella, there's just so many iterations of it already that when Disney makes another one, it's like, oh, it's another Cinderella. That's
yeah,
fun.
yeah, yeah,
Whereas like you get stuff that was originally or the first, I guess Beauty and the Beast was based on something like the original
yeah,
Disney version was based on something, but it was the Disney one's the first one that really took off.
yeah, yeah,
Stuff like that, where the first thing people think of when they hear the name that Beauty and the Beast,
yeah.
Little Mermaid, and stuff like that, it feels like more of a cash grab when they're doing those ones.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. Because they're like, yeah, we know what works. We've got the system. Let's just slap like let's just slap something on there that everybody knows and loves, and we'll call it a day.
Or
It
like the best one was the Lion King one because it was literally
uh
just CGI animation of the exact same thing, missing some of the best parts. Like,
yeah.
what was that?
That was a bold move from Disney, The Lion King. Oh my
Like,
gosh.
take out the best song in the entire movie. Okay, sounds
Yeah,
great.
just take out the thing that everybody loved and just give them like the CGI animals. That's what they want, right? No, we
Yeah.
want the songs. We want the songs. Oh my gosh, yeah, that was a hot mess. The Lion King. That was I don't even know what they were thinking in that meeting. Like, oh my gosh, my gosh.
I think that might be like the last out of the like really strict remakes of doing like the exact same thing of just
Yeah.
in live action. I think that might be the last one I saw. All of the other ones I just like really haven't had enough motivation to go see them.
Yeah, same, same. I'm gonna wait for the Little Mermaid to come out in It comes out on Disney Plus in September, I think. So I'm just gonna watch it on Disney
Yeah,
Plus
that sounds
because I'm
right.
like,
Yeah,
I don't
I
care
think I will
enough.
actually get around to seeing that one
Yeah,
eventually, but
eventually.
not enough to go see it in the theaters. Like
That's it.
stuff
Yeah.
like Mulan and what were the other ones
Oh my God, I
recently?
forgot about Mulan. I forgot they did
Aladdin.
that. Aladdin, okay. Aladdin was pretty
I haven't
baller
seen
though.
those ones.
Aladdin was pretty good.
Really?
Yeah, so I was very, very skeptical in watching it because I was like, who is going to live up to Robin Williams? You
Yeah.
can't even. Like, God rest his soul. What a legend in like the movies, right? But Will Smith took the genie and was like, yeah, I'm going to make it my own. So instead of singing the songs, he kind of like rapped them all as like, do you remember those really corny rap songs he used to make in like the 90s with DJ Jazzy Jeff?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
kind of like that. It's kind of like, yo, I'm gonna be like that cheesy like
Nice.
Prince of Bel-Air kind of character, and it works pretty well. So hands down,
Nice.
Aladdin, pretty alright to be fair. I'd give it a solid like 7 out of 10. Like, it's pretty good. Yeah. And Jasmine's song, Speechless, godlike. Like, probably one of the
I
best, probably the
I've
best,
heard,
probably like the best song in the whole movie.
yeah.
So, so good. And I
I
can't.
guess technically Cruella is also a live action remake. I don't really
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, yeah.
count that and like Maleficent in the same category completely as
No.
those live action remakes, though.
I,
But I have seen that one. I did really enjoy that one.
yeah. So I'm not classing them as remakes because I feel like they're original stories. Like they're
Yeah.
taken from like the other, like the villain's point of view. I did watch
Yeah.
Cruella, the one with Emma Stone. You want about?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. I really liked that. It was really good. It was really, really good. I enjoyed it. It was pretty good. It was a
Yeah.
nice telling of the story, and it was like to set up the whole plot point of why Cruella feels like how she is. Maleficent, I haven't
Yeah.
seen because,
I I actually haven't seen Maleficent
uh,
either.
yeah, I was gonna say because I don't think Angelina Jolie is the right person for it. Like,
Really.
yeah, I don't think that was a bold choice. I tell you what is good though for like stories of like villains and things that I don't know if you've ever watched it apart from the last season because it's really awful. Once Upon a Time,
I love Once Upon a Time. Although I
yes,
haven't seen the last 2 or 3 seasons, it was
yeah,
my favorite show for
yeah,
a while.
yeah. It
And
was so
I can't
good.
remember if it was season 4 or season 5 where I ended up I was too busy. I couldn't watch it and then I got behind and I never
Yeah,
caught up.
that's yeah.
I have the same deal with so many shows. The one right now I'm finally gonna catch up on soon is Doctor Who. That's not even related at all to Disney, but that's in the same boat. There were a whole bunch of shows around that same time in
Yeah,
2016 that I got behind on them, and I just
never
still
caught up
haven't
with.
caught up on them.
Yeah, yeah. Sounds about right. To be fair, I'm like that. Like, I'll catch up with it eventually. Like, I'll just sit down one week and just like maybe, you know.
Yeah,
But yeah, Once Upon a Time, man,
it's
so good. I do not recommend Series 7. Don't watch that because you'll be utterly disappointed. Like,
dang. Well, I'll probably watch it anyway, but it's good to know that it doesn't live up to expectation.
absolutely not. It doesn't make any sense to the story, and it's just really confusing. So,
Okay, this is still Once Upon a Time. Jumping back conversation like 10 years. How did you feel about the Frozen season when they added Elsa and Anna? I'm really curious.
okay.
And I think it's season 4.
Yeah. I mean, it the story was pretty stellar. The story's pretty stellar. I like the way that there was like I kind of liked it, like how they introduced like Elsa to it all, and like how Anna was trying to find Elsa and everything like that. I found it pretty interesting. To be fair with Once Upon a Time, I like the way they introduced all the new characters, how they kind of got like stuck into like Storybrooke, and it was like, yeah, it was a really interesting concept of like how they always tried to like manage a way to break like the magical wall, and it was interesting. Like I feel
Oh
like the
yeah.
cast was really well. The cast was well done. Um, yeah, I really liked it. It's really good.
Yeah, well, just because talking about Once Upon a Time, I got like whisked back in my memory to when that season was coming out. And I remember seeing so many complaints about it because it was so soon after Frozen came out that they're
Yeah,
like, oh, now we're going to add all these Frozen characters.
yeah,
Who are they? But I really loved it
yeah, yeah,
because it brought in storylines from the original Snow Queen fairy tale by Hans Christian Andersen,
yeah. It did.
and
It was so
like
good that.
it like really connected the two, and so it was really enjoyable to see that.
Yeah,
And
it
I
was.
just
Yeah.
remember seeing so many people complaining about, oh, they're just trying to make money off of all the Frozen characters and stuff, and I'm like, no, but it's so good.
It was a bold move. Disney must have known
Oh yeah.
something that was like, oh, Frozen's going to be like our best ever movie. Look, so fun facts about Frozen. Okay, for the longest time, I was like, I was a Frozen hater. I was like, when it first came out, this is a no, I'm just bringing out all the hot takes there. I generally thought because Let It Go was literally everywhere at the time. I was like, oh, I'm sick of hearing this song, sick of hearing it,
True.
and I got to a point where I was like, ah, I just need, I like, it was. Think I watched the movie like 2014, 2015. It was still going strong. I was like, okay, I need to watch this movie, and I'm like, is it gonna be any good? Like, is it just literally just like, is it gonna be any good, or is it just because the kids are like love it and the songs are like catchy or whatever? Because I was like, okay, fair enough. And then
Hmm.
I watched it. And I was just blown away, just blown away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I I remember when it was coming out that I was so worried that I was gonna like make my expectations too high for it
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it was like the first like original Disney musical in a really long time.
It
And so it
was,
was
yeah.
like kind of this big thing, and I remember me and like all my theater friends in high school were like, "Oh my gosh, Frozen." But I was so worried that I was gonna like set up my expectations too high that I was
Yeah.
like, okay, well, it's probably not gonna be that good. And then it ended up being so good. Although I do agree that the fact that like Let It Go and stuff was on the radio
Oh,
and
yeah,
overplayed,
yeah.
it did get to a point where I wasn't like outwardly obsessed with it. But
Yeah.
I did really love Frozen, and
Yeah.
it's one of my favorite Disney princess movies for
Oh,
sure.
yeah, 100%.
If it counts as Disney princess, that whole deal.
Yeah, I mean, there's a strict criteria for that, but yeah, it matches. The the thing with it is, okay, so I'm pretty sure that it is still the highest grossing Disney movie. Um,
By like Disney Studios or whatever.
yeah, I am pretty sure it's still like the highest. Disney's biggest selling movie. Let's see. Okay, Avengers Endgame, does that count? Probably.
Oh, but
Um,
I'm just looking at um highest grossing animated films, and somehow the top one is the Lion King remake. How in the world did that happen?
yeah, I'm looking at that and I'm like, what? What the hell what do you mean? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Come on now.
I mean, that's just based on like people going to see it though, like, and how much
Yeah.
money it made, right?
Yeah, I think
Because yeah, I'm seeing Lion King remake, Frozen 2, Mario Bros movie, which isn't Disney, but I just put a plug in for Mario. Love that movie.
pretty
Then
damn good.
Frozen, the
Pretty good.
first one.
Pretty good. I tell you what's an absolute off Disney for a minute. Tell you what is absolutely amazing. And if you've not seen it, you need to go and watch it. The Barbie movie.
Yes!
The
Oh my
Barbie
gosh,
movie, oh
yeah.
my god,
So
is
good.
so good. It was
Oh,
insanely good.
that's one I need to rewatch.
Oh,
I
100%.
saw it a
I was
couple weeks
actually,
ago, like
I
when
was
it came
actually,
out.
I was at, I watched it day of release. The cinema was packed. There was like 2 seats spare. I was like, do I just buy a ticket to watch it again? Because like, I need to watch it. I need to watch this movie again. It was so
Oh
good.
yeah, that was so good.
I also have another question for you in regards. Well, I have
Yeah.
two questions. What are your thoughts on Frozen 2 if you've seen it?
Um, I enjoyed it,
Yeah.
but in my opinion, the storyline itself doesn't live up to, the original Frozen movie. Like, it's
Yeah.
decent, but it's not something that I'm running to go rewatch.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love the music.
Yeah, the music is pretty boss. Yeah.
The music is a bop. I was obsessed with that for a little while. I've been
Yeah.
re-listening to it a little bit
Into the
on my
Unknown was probably
commute.
like my favorite.
Yeah, mine was Show Yourself. That
Oh,
was my
yeah.
favorite. And then
Yeah.
also just the lullaby got stuck in my head all the time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So,
Uh,
so I think the music was really good, and that was like my favorite part about it. And the
yeah.
storyline was decent. It wasn't like an utter disappointment, but I haven't rewatched it since
Yeah.
it came out, which
My,
was also nearly 4 years ago.
oh, yeah, it's mad that. I'm still waiting for Frozen 3. It did bring to conclusion all of those theories that people were like, oh, this is the boat of like the Little Mermaid where Ariel like explores, which to be fair was kind of a bummer because I was adamant that that was like actual canon. I was like, oh, really? That's so unfair.
Dang.
I know. I was so upset. I was like, oh, dang. So upset.
I don't think I ever bought into the Little Mermaid part of that theory, but I did like
The one that
the Rapunzel aspect of it.
yeah,
That
yeah,
their ship. I liked the part where it was like the ship went down when they were like on the way to Rapunzel's.
onto Rapunzel's wedding.
What was
Yeah,
it?
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. There was one as well. What was it? That Tarzan was Anna and Elsa's brother.
Oh
Absolutely
my
not.
gosh, yeah.
Absolutely not. Like that makes no sense.
That was nuts.
And then everyone was like, "Yeah, but," but then the director actually came up and was like, "No, this isn't true." And then he was like, "No, it's true. Like this is what they said." And the guy was like, "Legit, not actually true." And I was like, "Just, it makes no, just no, no, please."
I love these kind of theories though. They're so fun.
Oh yeah, 100%. They're so stupid. Like it just makes you think like what do people actually think? Like, come on now. Come on now. My second question that I want to ask you, I recently found out that We Don't Talk About Bruno is actually like more popular than Let It Go. How do you feel about that?
Yeah. Well, this is wild, but I still haven't gotten around to seeing Encanto.
Really? Okay, all right, no worries.
I was gonna see it in theaters with my sister, but she went without me, and somehow that just
Ah,
ended up being that I never went and saw it, and
ah,
I don't know.
fair
It's
enough.
on Disney Plus. I don't know why I haven't gone and watched it now, but We Don't Talk About Bruno is a great song, and personally, I am not surprised
Yeah,
because it's more like the type of song. It's less theatrical. Like
yeah,
Let
yeah,
It Go is great, but it was always weird to me that it was like on the radio because it was clearly like a show tune. It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's part of the theatrical experience. Whereas I feel like We Don't Talk About Bruno has a vibe that could be like its own song,
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. It was shocking news. I was like, oh, okay, fair enough, fair enough.
Yep,
I
yep.
can see why because Encanto it wasn't my favorite movie. I'm not going to give any spoilers because I know you haven't seen it, but it wasn't. It was all right. It was a solid like 6 out of 10 for me. The grandmother's just mean. She's just mean. That's all
Oh, oof.
that's all I've got to say about it. There is one movie that
Yeah,
there is one movie that I've been trying to watch for a long, and I feel like I've heard really good things about it. I just can't get past the first 5 minutes and just how cringy it is, and that's Turning Red.
really.
Yeah.
I haven't tried watching that one
So
yet.
I've
Um,
tried to watch it a couple of times. The first 5 minutes of it is just so cringe. I can't bring myself to even watch past it. I'm like, nope, that's it.
really.
That's it for me. It's that's it.
I wonder if I would like it. There's certain cringe that I really like.
So I don't even know how to explain it. It's literally like
I
it's like early 2000 like kind of like teenager cringe. That's like I don't know, man. I
yeah,
don't know. It's one of them. It's like I I can't get past it, and it's just
that's funny.
I've just heard really good things about it, but also I'm like I don't want to watch this. Like I can't. I
Yeah.
physically can't watch it.
It
Um,
sounds like it might be the type of cringe that I like, but I just haven't gotten around
uh,
to
I mean,
it.
hey, if you enjoy cringe, then you'll probably enjoy Turning Red. Um,
That's funny.
let me see here. Yeah. Ah, oh no, we're creeping up on just close to an hour. So I don't know. Let me see. Well, what are we? What else have we got here?
No, I can't think of anything else I was thinking about talking about.
Hmm. Yeah. So I think we can call it. I think we can call it an episode. I think. But
Sounds
yeah,
good.
thank you so much for joining me here today. It's been an absolute blast having you here. Like I say,
Yeah, this was super fun.
absolutely. Like I say, we haven't spoken in a little while. Like it's been a long time considering we've known each other for a little while now. But yeah, I want to thank you for joining me, taking the time out of your ever busy schedule, because I know you're a very busy woman. And yeah, it's been super fun.
Yep.
Thank you so much for joining
Yeah,
me.
of course. Thanks for having me.
Not at all a worry. And thank you all so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. We've covered a lot of topics. We taught Disney IP. We taught. Oh man, we taught so much. It's been a
So
good
much.
it's been a good episode. It's been a good episode. It's been a little bit of a rant. So I'm happy with that. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you've not done so already. And yeah, thank you all so much for joining me. And I'll catch y'all very soon in the next episode and the next video. Until then, much love. Have a magical day. Peace out.